What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Awakened Narrative, coming back at you with another video. And I hope you can hear me. I got a mic that I need to bring along whenever I do these. Shit, fucking keep it daily, because I've been down and out lately, man. Just watching everything going on around me. In particular, this past month, as a matter of fact, I've had quite a few family coming and visiting with me. And we've gotten together and hung out at various families' households, but some came in from out of state. And you know, there's been some times where, you know, we got into, obviously, discussions around what's currently happening, you know, wearing the face coverings and staying distancing, and, you know, and then actually the Visine and all that stuff, right? And so we get into some really serious conversations, and it's all based and hinged on what your beliefs are. And you know, for me, you know, my 2 cents that I added is that no, I am no longer a man who operates under beliefs. And that ended up making, you know, they ended up trying to at the end make a mockery of me. Oh, you just don't believe anything, and so making all these jokes. But at the end of the day, you know, for me, not just me, I know people that I think feel this. I could care less around the mockery, because I see further and deeper than you. And so the mockery, in fact, becomes what is a wall that will never, it's like adding concrete to bricks in forming a wall. That's what the mockery is. It makes it more and more difficult to tear that brick wall down. And it's a shame, because now someone who begins to mock now has to defend their beliefs, and will never decide to make a belief what it is, let it stand on its own island, and then you stand on something that's firmer and call it truth, knowing. That's essential in your ascension, is knowing, understanding the difference between knowing and believing. It's essential to your ascension. Absolutely. Which is why, quite honestly, the church has its challenges that it's having today. And in fact, to the extent that they were not even able to act and do as their Lord, or what their God, or what their deity proclaims them to do in a situation like what we've been in for now officially a year. And now it's taking it a step further. First it was the mind control, and then and the social engineering that came about, but now it's going to be the physical control, because now there's an injection that's coming, or not that's coming, you guys know it's already here. And we're already having difference of opinions and views relating to that. I'm gonna point to a borough. Shouts out to Kareem Lincoln. His channel is awesome. He doesn't do commentary except by way of a few bits of input that he might offer. But he's showing some raw information, raw video footage, as a real journalist will do most times. Most times. But he goes out there and he's showing a borough in the Bronx. And yes, they are all Jewish for the most part. You can tell, okay? And one of the main ways you can tell, okay, is that out of 100 of them, and there's probably one that's wearing a mask, and I guarantee, and that one probably is not Jewish. It's probably just someone that has to walk through that borough or go through that borough to get to their destination. I can tell you that those folks are not, no, number one, you can tell they're not wearing a mask. They're not going to take the Visine. They're not. And the businesses in there are not requiring, not only are they're not requiring the mask, they're not going to require the Visine. I know that the next step is that businesses and everything of the likes, trade, travel, and so on, are going to require the Visine. Now, if we've been discussing and questioning exactly what's going on, there's many of us that actually know what's going on, but people that believe what the news is telling them and so on and so forth, what we have experienced over this last year now, we're talking about 365 days of observations, what we have experienced does not match up with the level of control that they put upon us people. It does not match up. And there has to be a point where you, as an individual, must open your eyes and agree, or not, maybe not agree with me, but open your eyes and do some internal checks and balances on what you're observing and say, wait a minute, if it doesn't match up, I need to begin questioning some shit. It's time. And yeah, we did talk about flat earth. And what happened was, I began, and there were a couple of them that were educators there, and a couple of them that were just, engineers and whatever and so on. And I began exposing the fact that everything they believe or think is simply faith-based. I exposed that to them. And they didn't like it. And it started with the simple stuff, like how large is the earth? I don't know. Oh, so you just have faith that what they tell you is what it is. You just believe it. How much does it spin? How fast does it spin? What's the radius? What's the diameter? What's tilt? What's the... They don't know. I don't know. I don't know. After a point, after literally saying, I don't know, after a point, it began to mess with their ego. You see, it began to mess with their ego. And that's the challenge what we are right now, is that in acknowledging that this is some BS that they have us under, and that it's obvious some type of control is being put into play, the acknowledgement in that in itself, number one, requires the humility, but number two, it messes up your ego. Well, this is what you need to do with the ego. Let go of the ego. Get it out of there, because that is messing up your ability to know.